Um, I highly doubt that there's 0 people playing Gorilla Tag right now. Showing, 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 you, you, showing yacht. That worked. Alright, so the reason I'm making this video is because of the gigantic rush of people. The reason I'm making this video is because of the gigantic rush of people joining Gorilla Tag because of Christmas. So many people got their new Quest 2s or VR headsets, and everyone's just looking for free games to play, and everyone goes on YouTube, looks it up, everyone sees Gorilla Tag. Which is why I'm making a much better and more detailed video about Gorilla Tag tips and tricks. So as you know, I made a video about this in the past. That was such a bad video too. Like, the quality was horrible if you watched it on a big screen. So this is part 2 to that, so let's get into it. So, I know a lot of you new players are going to want to get right into the game and just start just doing what you see people doing. Just like really getting into the groove of things. Just ba-ba-doo, ba-ba-doo-dee, doo-ba-boo. But I know for a lot of people it's not actually that easy to get the hang of running super fast in Gorilla Tag. So, a lot of people when they first start the game is they hop like this with both hands. And now that's an okay way, but most people that do that, when they do it, they're pushing themselves up more than actually pushing themselves forward. Now, what you want to do is, the whole point of Gorilla Tag is to harness your inner monkey and to use your hands as a substitute for your legs because they are gone. So, basically, you want to run like you would with your legs, just with your arms. So first you just want to start swinging your arms back and forth like this, fully extend them, just alternate arms. And soon you'll be able to run faster than you did when you did this. Another tip for being able to maneuver fast is, instead of just alternating arms, no braining it, you really want to make sure you are launching yourself parallel the surface that you are stepping on. Now, because this ground is basically flat, and if I'm doing this, I am launching myself like this. I am pushing up. But if you do it more parallel to the surface, as if you're cleaning it, like this, it's going to be a lot easier to run faster. Now, after you've gotten the hang of running pretty fast, it's going to take a while to get the hang of. I know for a lot of new Gorilla Tag users, it is fairly hard to get the hang of. Which is why I'm just going to tell you, these tricks take practice. I'm not here to be your professional teacher and just tell you the cheat code. There is no cheat code. And so, all you want to do is practice. I know that sounds lame. You just want to know the way that you can run fast, wall climb, wall run, branch, everything. But you just can't really get into that. There's really no way to just do it. You really just have to keep doing it and doing it until you get the hang of it. Now me, you could say I have a slight addiction to this game, because I play a lot, and so, yeah. So after you've got the technique of running down, which might take a while, it might even take a few hours for you to get the hang of, but once you have done that, you can start to um, learn how to wall jump. Now, wall jumping is when you jump from wall to wall like this. You can start in the middle and you can launch yourself to this wall, and you basically are launching yourself between the walls and moving upward at the same time. Now, the way that I like to do this is as if you're kind of skiing, but the thing is, you don't want to actually act like you're skiing, because this is like a forward motion. If you do that, you go forward, especially if you're doing that on the ground. So basically, don't do that, because it's eventually just going to launch you forward off the wall. Basically, the motion, you really just want to do this, and you want to make sure that you are not launching yourself forward or backward. That is very important. So when you're starting out, it's very easy. I know when I was starting out and trying to learn how to wall jump, it is very easy to just accidentally go like that, or accidentally do this and just fall backward. And it is so frustrating. Like, it is so annoying. Like, you only know if you've tried. Like, this is the most annoying thing that you have ever seen in Gorilla Tag, especially when you first started out. And so, when you are doing your first jump, you really want to make sure that you are pushing straight into the other wall. Now, it doesn't have to be exact. You're not going to get it down to the centimeter, but just get it close enough. You want to launch yourself forward straight. Like, think of it as you don't want to just walk off. And so your legs aren't just like this. There's not one leg just... There's always just a constant movement with your legs back and forth. And you can kind of move your arms in a seesaw-like motion. Like, put your arms out in a T-pose when you reach the first wall and just teeter and totter back. Now, I mean, it's not exact. You kind of still want to bend your arms, but it's gonna be hard. Just know that. It's gonna be extremely hard. But that is the first trick you're gonna want to learn. In this tutorial, I am actually going in the order of things you would actually want to learn. So, like, running, and then wall jumping, and then wall climbing. After you've mastered wall jumping, it's gonna take a lot longer than learning how to run, I'm pretty sure. So it really depends on how fast of a learner you are. So by the time that you have mastered wall jumping, you have kind of gotten a little idea of how the physics works in Gorilla Tag and the engine stuff and how the game works. So now it's gonna be kind of hard with the lights here, because they're kind of in that area where your hands would be. But the next trick you're gonna want to learn is called pinch climbing. Now, pinch climbing is essentially just hugging. Now, a nice way to visualize this is, instead of trying to push yourself up, pretend that you're pushing the wall down. You're grabbing it tightly and you're tossing it down at the ground. Tossing it down at the ground. Tossing it down. Tossing it down. And tossing it down until you reach the top. Until you reach the top, it's gonna be hard. So first, I recommend just jumping in and trying to keep yourself up, because if you can't keep yourself into the wall, you're gonna have a hard time going up as well. So the thing with pinch climbing is that if you just do it up, especially if you're new, you're just eventually gonna fly off if you keep doing it straight up like that. Now, when you see people doing it, it might look like they're just doing it straight up, but if that were the case, they just eventually fly off. That's the case most of the time. So what they are actually doing is they're pulling in to their bodies and also pushing up. So yes, there is kind of a circle motion, but if you view the circle from a side, it's gonna have a little tilt to it. So your arms are gonna kind of be not just in a circle like this, but they're also gonna be coming in. And so you want to make a fine line between that and pull yourself in and push the wall down at the same time. And so you're pushing and pulling down at the same time, kind of like this. Kind of like you're repeatedly giving another gorilla a hug. And if you're introverted, well, don't use that analogy. Again, it's gonna take some practice. It's gonna be so frustrating, but it might even take a few days to learn. But thing is, it's gonna take time. Everything takes time. Every trick that I'm doing in this video, it takes time to learn. It's gonna take time. Once you've mastered on the wood, this thing, oh, this corner is so frustrating when you first start out, because you have practiced it on that even little surface until now. So now you gotta try to apply everything you've learned to the tree. And as you can see, I just fell off as we were talking. And so before actually trying to make it all the way up to the top of the stump, I recommend just trying to make it to the first platform. Now, you're going to be able to make it to the level of the first platform before you actually are able to get on the platform from pinch climbing. As you can see, I can kind of effortlessly do it, but when I first started, I could get here, and then as soon as I tried, I would just, and that's just the process of learning, though. Like, it's hard, man. Oh, I opened my menu. Yeah, so that's pinch climbing. The fourth trick, I mean, it's technically the third trick, because running's not really a trick, but now, this is going to be one of the hardest tricks to learn, let me tell you. It is going to be so hard. And I just want you to know that you are not the only one that is getting flung off the wall like that. You're not the only one that's trying to learn and just gets thrown off the wall. It makes you feel dumb because you see all the pros just like doing it like a no-brainer. It's like, how do you do that, man? Like, stop. So with this one, you can kind of put your knowledge of wall jumping into this. So, but you want to contain it in a more confined area. So the thing is, it's like wall jumping, but now you really kind of do the whole skiing motion thing. Like, you really start skiing now. Like when you first start, I recommend just pretending that you're skiing. Like, just do this motion over and over, and eventually you're gonna get there. But once you've got more skilled at getting a little bit of elevation with this skiing method, you'll be able to get some elevation. You're not going to be able to get to the entire top, but you're going to get some elevation. And then, once you've done that, that's when you can start positioning your hands to be parallel with the wall like this. I don't know why, I think it just makes it easier when your hands are kind of parallel to the wall. And I don't know, it just kind of is a lot easier, in my opinion, than having your hands flat against the wall. I think it's a lot better to have the side of your hand against the wall rather than the top of your hand. Or maybe you can even do a mixture of both, where it's like the side of your hand and the bottom of your hand at the same time. So it's like right in that little fine line right there. So, again, this is going to take such a long time to learn. I know it is. The thing with this trick is that there's literally absolutely nothing you can say about this one. It's like the most hard trick to teach someone. And it's just like, ugh. You have any questions about this one in the below? You can put it in the comments below. If the comments are turned off, I'm so sorry. It does that. Even when I turn them on, like 20 bajillion quadrumplesuited different times, it just goes back because it thinks it sees a kid in the video. And I mean, it does, but like, come on, YouTube. Really, when you're starting out, you really just want to do that skiing motion, like that. Just really act like you're skiing, just imagine it. Alright, now, once you've mastered wall climbing, you'll notice at some point, the wall kind of gets a little bit slanted up here. This is where our other trick comes in. This trick is called wall running. Now, if you've been in a public lobby long enough, you've probably seen a monkey just go in this area, just like run back and forth, maybe even onto the top of the tree. It's like, how do you do that? And so, once you've mastered the wall climbing, which I apparently have not, even though I have so much time in this game, you can get up to the slanted area, and you can kind of just like, you want to make sure that you're doing it with the side of your hand. It's gonna take a lot of time, but once you've done it, you can do it. You really just want to launch. Now, the thing about these wall tricks also is that you don't want to just be like rough with it. Like, you might see people going up fast, but you don't want to be rough. Like, you want to do like firm but like slow movements. So like this. You don't want to just like, you really want to just take it easy on the wall. Don't beat up the wall. Just like, let it live. Don't kill it. Ow. And yes, even good players still hit things, like hitting their controllers together. I even hit my desk or my couch sometimes. Yeah, but there's not much to say about this either. Just take your time and kind of put the tips into this video, because, you know, like I said, slow but firm movements. You don't want to be rough with it. Okay, now, the thing is, you want to have quite a bit of time on Gorilla Tag before you start this next trick called branching. Now, you might have seen this if you watch any like pro players on YouTube or anything. You might see them doing something like this, where they're just like going through the branches. I'm not that good at it myself, but they're like taking like pathways on the branches, and you're just like, I want to do that, and then you go in and try to do it, and all that happens is you're like, I want to go to that branch, and then you end up just like not doing it because it's hard. And the thing is, branching is a hard concept to grab. It's pretty hard to explain, but my best tip for branching is don't think about it. Like, when you're branching, don't plan out where you're gonna go. You can like look for the next branch you're gonna try to go on, but don't always plan out where you're going. It's just, it makes your brain so much less satisfied, especially when you're learning, when you're trying to do a specific thing and you fail. And when you're trying to do a certain path, especially if you're not experienced enough, it can be really frustrating when you're trying to do something, you get to the last branch and you just fall off. And I've found that it's a lot less frustrating when you're just going with the flow instead of planning out what you're doing. And so branching is pretty hard, but the more time you go without branching and just playing the game, I feel like the easier it's going to be when you start trying to learn it. So I recommend, before you start doing the wall climbing and stuff, just start doing like pinch climbing and wall jumping until you've gotten the hang of everything. And then once you've gotten the hang of a few tricks, then you can move on to the more complicated ones, like wall climbing, wall running, and branching. Also, when you're starting out on branching, try to go for bigger branches, because when you're first starting out, it can be hard to grasp the gravity in this game because it's definitely not the same as Earth. This is Monkey Land. So when you are starting out branching, don't go for branches like those or skinny branches. Go for thicker branches like these or those. Not these little skinny boys. Big branches, especially that one. Like this one right here is amazing, especially if you just learned how to wall climb. Like, this is like a really good pathway. Oh my god. It's like a really good pathway to just like wall climb up here and then go up here, because it's a large branch, which means that if you are just going up, you can look behind you while you're in midair, because you're most likely to land on it because it's so big. Also, while you're branching, also use the platforms, because ow, that's my wall. Because branching isn't exclusive to branches, as weird as it sounds, but you can mix other tricks into there. Like while you're branching, say you can come over here and you can jump down even if you want, and you can do stuff like that, and then you can even get back on branches. I might make future tricks and tips videos in the future, but this is already a long video and I've kind of been rambling on. Like, subscribe maybe. I'm not gonna force you, but just go ahead. If you like the video, please leave a like. We just hit 700 subscribers, which is legit. We might be on a road to 1K. If we can get 1K, that would be amazing. So yeah, see you in the next video. I just did this as a peace sign. Monkey peace.